I've got the smoke tester on the gearbox, and if you don't believe me, I'll pull the pipe off. There we go. Now I'm going to just, when I put it on the transfer, we have a leak. So let's go and see where it is. No smoke from here. So this is alright. No smoke out the seal. Must be from somewhere else. Let's have a look. You can see it. This is where it's leaking from. I inadvertently missed a tiny bit of sealer that goes up here. So it's an easy fix. I'm going to fix that straight away. But you can probably see the smoke bellowing out of there. Now, otherwise you would have missed that. You've never seen it. To see the machine's just switched off. It only runs for a couple of minutes. So I'm going to pull that cover off and reseal it. Yeah, my bad, but test it now, make sure it's not leaking. At least it wasn't leaking out of anywhere else. So before we put the oil on, we test it. I should have tested it on the floor, but the difficulty with testing it on the floor is I needed to swap so many bits out from the other one and also get this job done because I'm behind schedule. Yeah, rushing, that's a problem. And I thought I had some sealer on there. Well, alright, well, never mind. The gear, the primary gear that drives the transfer case. Normally, on the older Land Rovers, there wasn't this hole drilled all the way around. There should be 4 holes in there. And what that did, it would stop the oil getting to the spline inside. So they used to strip. And cause all sorts of problems. So all it took was a little hole. It took them about 20 years to work it out, but never mind. Now this one's going to get a new gear in. I've put the transfer case in already. It's a lot easier to put the transfer case in using the guide pins without this gear, because then you have to line several things up at once. It's easier to just line the bolts up and pop it in. Now one of the things I'm going to do before I do anything is I'm going to grease the spline so it's all nice and lubed up. I'm also going to put some grease on these new bearings just to give it an initial spin. This is a clean brush, it's not an old dirty brush. There we go, we're going to put some grease on there. Turn that round. What I usually do with the transfer case is I run it round for about 1,000 kilometers and then change the oil again, just to make sure there's no bits and pieces in there. Now, one really uber important thing is these gears will actually go in some transfer cases the other way around. The PTO drive at the end is always important. This goes to the back cover towards the handbrake. You can put this the other way around and it'll drive for about 2-3 kilometers and smash all the teeth in here and render the transfer case useless, as I found with one of my former employees. Put the gear in wrong, and so the contact area of the teeth, instead of being all the way across, was just about 1/4 of an inch, if that. So you got all that power going through those teeth. Couldn't take it, smashed it to bits. So we had to get another transfer case. Oops, that was expensive. So don't do that. So after about 10 minutes, I took the back cover off, resealed it, resealed the transfer case back cover, and now I've got it on the smoke machine, and as you can hear there's nothing coming from it. But what I'm going to do is pull the pipe off and listen to the machine bubble away. If you can hear that, it's completely stopped. And if we want to look at the gauge, that little ball isn't moving. That means that transfer case is completely oil tight. So there's should be no complaints now. It also tests another thing, saying that the breather pipes are clean and not blocked, which is what I said earlier. Make sure they're unblocked. So that's done. I'm pleased about that. Now I can put some oil in and do it. And what I did was, I don't know if I've got a transfer case here. Just wait. What I did was, I put a bead of silicone, rather similar to this, on the inside of the bolt holes, and I sort of go, wait a minute, let me see, all the way around and down and round and down and round, just to make a seal. But what I didn't realise is the hole that goes through here There's a hole in this piece for some bizarre reason, I don't know why, but I didn't put any sealer on the outside. I just went to the one side of it. I don't know, it was late, I was trying to get things done. But anyway, that's it. So smoke tested 100%, not a problem with that at all. That's never going to leak. We're going to have a happy customer, happy driveways. That smoke machine was kind of expensive, but worth its weight in gold. You can test everything with it: axles, gearboxes, you name it, gas tanks, anything, but providing there's no oil in it, because the oil will, if you've got, say for example, we'll turn this around a little bit and say you've got oil level, there's your oil level going across this way. If there's a leak out the bottom, the smoke won't be able to get out, so you've got to drain the oil out, which is no big deal, and find out. And you can see this one's been leaking out of here, look. It's kind of strange really, because that might not have been tight. Some of these mechanics tighten not very strong, but then again you get some that's like uber strong and just tighten everything out of existence and strip threads. But anyway, that wasn't tight, so that was why that was dripping. No big deal, easy fix.